So today we are going to speak about the pros and cons of eating out, having a meal. I mean, eating always in a restaurant or taking away. I mean, ordering takeaway foods, and basically never cooking at home because either you are lazy, you are tired, you think it's harder, or it will take a lot of time to cook at home, or so pros and cons of this, and pros and cons of eating at home, always cooking really delicious food, but not only savory food, but also bakeries, like could be pastries, bread even, and could be coffee or other drinks like that. Yeah. So I have here actually a really good cook just next to me.
Thank you.
Um, what do you think about it?
Well, obviously, it's gonna be. I mean, economically speaking, when you think about, let's just begin with this one. When you think about the money that goes to a restaurant versus buying your own ingredients and cooking it yourself, I think in a restaurant, let's say you spend easily $15 for just a meal.
15, yeah.
Yes, there's no drinks yet.
No.
So that's just one meal. But then when you buy your ingredients for yourself, cook it yourself, like $15 goes a
Could
long
be
way.
4 meals.
4 meals even, yes.
Yeah.
So just see the stark difference of what you can have when you cook at home versus what you have when you go to a restaurant. I mean, yeah, you save a lot when you cook at home for sure. But then sometimes you wanna like just not do anything and just let other people cook for you. I mean, that's fine, but when you do it every night, I think that's where we economically speaking,
Every
it's
night, yeah.
it's not good.
If you go eating somewhere every night, or even just a drink, like you could just get, I don't know, every night a milkshake, those kinds of, bubble teas, or those kinds of different, yeah, coffee, a nice coffee, frappuccino,
Going to the pub,
yeah, or even to the pub. Yeah, alcohol. I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't
we don't do
thinking about
that.
it, but sometimes you think, oh yeah, I'm a bit thirsty. It's a summer. It's really hot, but actually you can also make a really nice iced coffee, or if you like beers or ciders, which is also good, you can just buy a bottle at home. And sometimes, yeah, I think sometimes you maybe don't like your home, so that's why you want to do it elsewhere, in a restaurant, in a pub, in a bar, in a cafe. But if you don't like your home, maybe you should do something about it.
Yeah.
Maybe you should move. Maybe you should arrange your home differently so you can feel the same way you feel in a cafe. However, sometimes people like because there are other people there, and they feel less lonely. Maybe they which could make sense as well. Sometimes they want to have their friends with them, but they don't want to invite their friends to their home because it's a bit it's a bit more like, oh, I have to clean up my place, maybe, or oh, like, or maybe I live far away, but so I want to go with my friends in a in a place where everybody are nearby, where everybody is there. But yeah, that's the pros, obviously, of going somewhere, um, take away or somewhere else. In my case, I used to never cook by myself, so I would always go, like, having some takeaway food, always, like burritos, sandwiches, even sandwiches in supermarkets. Like for so many years, actually, like wow, for so many years, I would just go to, like, in the UK, I was going to Sainsbury's, Tesco and similar shops, just having sandwich or salad from there, and I would have or even in Marks and Spencer, I would get a sandwich there. And here, I was like, in Australia, I was getting some burritos, some Indian takeaway food as well. Every day, like really, literally almost every day. And I would like have, vegetable from an Indian restaurant, burritos, and obviously you spend way more money because per day you would spend easily $25 to $35 a day, and you would have a coffee also elsewhere maybe, and you can actually have the same at home if you live in a place. I mean, I believe to cook at home also you have to appreciate the environment, because if you eat but you hate your place, or if you live with other people and you don't really like them to be around you, that could be a problem. Sometimes not. Like in my case, I used to live in a shared apartment. I really liked the people I was with. I mean, they didn't bother me at all. But I don't know, sometimes, I wanted to eat in the evening and maybe they're already sleeping, or maybe, I don't know, it's like, yeah, sometimes it was fine, but I was just cooking really basic foods, just eggs, scrambled eggs, or maybe it was just rice crackers, with peanut butter and something like that. Really simple. And yeah, usually I would just take away food, and I did that for so long. But actually, I believe people don't really, you don't really realize that actually cooking is easy and it doesn't take much time. And when you buy ingredients at shop, in the shop, you think it will be more or less the same price. In my case, I would think, oh yeah, actually, if I want to bake a burrito by myself, it will be also $10. But actually, you can make way, way more than one. That's a big difference. Because when you go to somewhere to get a burrito, it will be like $12.50, even sometimes $15 as well, and you just get one.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
And if you really like where you live as well, it's nice to eat also at your home. I mean, you always have pros and cons. Sometimes, times it's sometimes nice to be to eat elsewhere, to change your environment. It doesn't hurt, but most of the time it's nice to cook at home. And even doing some bakeries, it's really fun too. I think you should, like once or twice in a month, it's nice to go away. I mean, elsewhere. I mean, when I say away, it's like a restaurant or somewhere. If you would like to, if you want to just, be in a different environment. Now I still like coffees, and at the moment I don't have a coffee machine. So in my case, I like still to go to a coffee shop, and that's more like it forces me to just focus on my reading or on something else. And when I'm at home, I'm more distracted about, I don't know, other stuff, or about, I don't know, sometimes cleaning, or about other things, and not about what I really want to do. But yeah, it's even bakeries like this morning, that my professional cook I just found actually on
The side of the street.
in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I hired you for the morning actually.
Yeah.
And yes, so you showed me that it was really easy to bake a cake.
Yes.
So that was really good.
I mean, to be honest, coming from somebody who isn't cooking a lot before. Like, I'm being honest here. I am not claiming that I am the best cook ever. I have lots of experience. No, I am not at all. But you see, I just followed instructions on the internet, which is, by the way, available to everybody nowadays. Just, just from a snap of your finger, you could like get easy ingredients. You could just search vegetarian easy recipe, and everything pops up on the internet. And just follow the ingredients.
This is so easy.
Very easy. And you just follow the ingredients, follow the recipe. Sometimes if you don't have, if you don't have the spices and don't put it, I don't know, then it turns out great, actually. It's just, just winging it sometimes. It's just because you're not confident with yourself with cooking doesn't mean you don't know how to cook. It's just, just try. You wouldn't know if you don't try. So if you think that, wow, I'm a bad cook, I should just eat outside, I should just spend more money. I mean, I could pay for it, who cares? But, it's sometimes there's benefits in cooking at home too. I mean, I think it's some sort of therapy. Some people...
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's a kind of a meditation.
Yes. And, and you see the product of what you did, you worked hard for it.
You are proud of what you did.
So proud of what you did. And
sit high.
Yes.
I did this. Wow.
Yes. Wow. Who would have thought?
This is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you discover some talents. I mean, some
skills.
Some skills from you. Actually, you are like, wow, I'm even capable for doing that. This is even yummier than the cafe I used to eat a quiche.
Yeah, it's like, you'll never know unless you try. Okay, but then if and if you feel lonely when you cook for yourself, how about cook for your mom or cook for your friends? It makes the activity or the task more meaningful. And then you feel like, okay, I'm cooking this for my mom, for my dad, for my best friends, for my boyfriend, girlfriend. You would think, okay, maybe I should, pour my love and everything into cooking this meal, even though I'm not the best. Let's just see. And then you will be surprised at the result that you will get, because I've never cooked a quiche in my life, but it came out great.
It did.
Yeah, it came out great. So yes, you should try it. I mean, I'm not saying...
It's always a surprise, especially when you try a recipe you haven't done before, or even if it's a recipe you have done before, but you can try to improve it. Or sometimes you don't find the vegetables you wanted to buy for that recipe, so you just wing it. That you just try to do with what you have, with what ingredients you have, and.
Yeah, or maybe look it up on the internet and say, suggestions for alternative for this thing. Information is just like one click away. Everything is, it's just it's so accessible nowadays.
Exactly. Yeah. You are 100% right. So for you, what's the pros and cons of going? Taking away, or like, first of all, your background. Like, were you like me? Or you always cooked by yourself, like at home? You are more like someone who cooks at home. I mean, now you're a professional cooker, so I think I have the answer already.
Yeah.
But you're not an amateur.
Yes. So usually for me, I am more economically inclined to do things that would save me more money.
Oh yes.
So I mean I go eat out, but it's a rare occasion, and I just cook food at home actually, and then I think of the things that I would have saved. I have saved actually, because okay, this might be, let's say, $10 what I bought, but it lasted me for, I don't know, 6 meals. That's a lot.
Indeed.
Compared to eating out and spending $12 on a meal that you would eat once, and sometimes you get unlucky and you get something that's not good.
Oh yeah, sometimes I know it's so disappointed. You go somewhere, you want obviously a good food there.
Yes.
You order it, like, I don't know, carbonara pasta, bolognese. I mean, I don't know what kind of meal, doesn't matter the meal, onion soup, and you get the soup and you say, oh no, this is not why, I thought it would have been much better. Like in my case, I was speaking to you just before this podcast, a bit before it, about the banana bread. I had a lot of banana bread that got, they usually toast the banana bread, and when they serve to you, it's really burnt. Like it's just black. Sometimes I ask them to, if it's not, I cannot eat it. But usually I don't. I mean, I don't always, because sometimes I'm just tired. I don't want to complain. And it's just, whatsoever. Like,
but you don't eat it.
It's consuming time and energy to ask, can I have another one? Sometimes you don't have time, because then you have to wait again. And, sometimes it's really busy. So it's hard to ask the waiter, the waitress to get a new one, and so you eat it, but I don't eat where it's burnt. So finally I end up just eating 10% of the banana bread.
10%?
Because I remove all the, sometimes it's just really burnt. And they give you that with butter, but sometimes the butter is really like, you think, the butter maybe was in a different, on a different plate from someone else. Maybe they just, that person didn't touch it. So I don't know, but sometimes a bit like the butter, you see the butter
untouched,
suffered a bit. Like
the
butter is a bit like, it's sweat. It's a bit like, it's not fresh. It doesn't look fresh. Yeah. And so you pay for it and you say, wow, I have this. And a lot of times I got like a bagel, for breakfast. And I thought it would have been like a really nice one. So I paid like $10 for it. And then you just have a bagel with nothing inside.
What?
Literally, like, you're so disappointed. It's so small. Yeah, so in your restaurant, you never know what you will get.
Right.
You pay and then you receive. Sometimes you pay at the end, but still you have to pay.
Yeah.
And you don't know if it will be good or no.
That's right.
It's always a surprise. At least if you do it by yourself, and if you don't like it, well, it's on you responsibility. So you think, okay, at least I can learn from it and I can improve myself. But in a restaurant, you cannot improve yourself, except the fact, okay, I won't go back to that place anymore. That's it. But you don't have the control on the food. You don't control the food.
That's right.
The food relies on someone else's skill. Your skill might be really bad, but still you can improve your skill. And I'm sure, in a lot of cafes, they hire people. Sometimes they really need someone. So even if that person doesn't have much skills, they would hire that person. And that person is not better than you.
That's right. Oh my God.
No, definitely not. No.
Yeah.
Believe me. Even me, like, I used to work for Starbucks. I've never worked in a coffee shop before.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, and I was making coffee, and in the beginning, my coffees were bad. I didn't have any coffee skills. So, and that happened in a lot of different places. Now I was really passionate, and I was, I was willing to make
improvements.
At the end of my shift, when the Starbucks was closed, I was continuing making a lot of flat whites all the time to improve myself. Flat whites for the sink. After I was just throwing the flat white in the sink and making a new one, just to improve myself. My manager told me to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a nice manager.
It was part of my training. But yes, it's obviously you have to deliver good coffees. It's really high standard, but still, I was not better than my customers making coffee.
Yeah.
My skills at the beginning was the same. So the person who pays the coffee, I had the same level as that person for coffee skills, basically, because I had 0 coffee skills.
Wow. Okay. You just learned.
Yes. And it's the same in the restaurant, actually.
Yeah.
After obviously, weeks, months after, I was better, but you have to improve yourself.
Yeah. Speaking of, in a restaurant, you don't know what you get.
Yeah,
it's
no.
Like
you don't. Yeah, you really don't know.
people cooking it.
You don't even know if it's from the shop, if it's really homemade. No, because sometimes they say homemade soup, but when they don't mention homemade, what does that mean? You know, I don't know if always when they say homemade, wow, it's special, it's homemade. Okay, it's $4 extra, but it's homemade. But it's supposed to be homemade when you go to a restaurant. I mean, I believe.
Restaurant made, I would say. But yeah, like, you don't know as well the cook. I mean, hair could fall. Like,
Yeah, I know.
could fall.
You don't know the hygiene. I mean, how clean it is.
Yeah, that too.
Because sometimes the kitchen is really dirty.
Yeah, I mean, you've had experience too, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. In an Italian, I mean, we were making pizzas.
Yes.
And Italian food, so pasta. It was really yummy. Because I had food as well. We were sometimes eating when we are cooking. I mean, in my case, at the beginning, especially, I wasn't cooking anything because I had zero skills in making food, even not Italian food, but food at all. So I was just what's the name? Chef commis. The one doing
the
chopping. Chopping a bit, but especially washing
dishy, like a dishy.
The dishes,
Yeah.
washing everything, cleaning
Kitchen
everything.
hand, like a dishy.
You start the first and you leave the last one because you have to finish everything. It's really exhausting. It's like you work like 74 hours a week, but it is what it is. I think I stayed there for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because after I was exhausted and I didn't see the point. It was because I had other stuff. I mean, I was freelancer at the same time, and I was busy with other stuff. I was student at the same time. I mean,
well, you did a lot, sir.
But I was it was exhausting. So actually, I remember because I got sometimes, they have like a pizza, but actually the customer said, oh no, we want another pizza. So we had one pizza extra that, so we could take some pieces. So they were eating at the same time of cooking sometimes.
Okay, that's not good.
Yes. It was, hygiene was okay. It was okay. No, it was a good restaurant. I think I never checked the price of the menu there, but I think it wasn't that cheap. It wasn't cheap. It was normal Italian price restaurant.
Yeah.
But they had kind of a good reputation, and the location was really good. So they had a lot of customers. But the pizzas were okay, were good. I had, I was eating a lot of pizzas. Like sometimes the chef was like making more pizza for us. I mean, for the people working there, because you have to work there all the time, and it's really exhausting. So you have to eat a bit,
Yes.
But yeah, it was really. I mean, it was a good experience actually. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I would say the hygiene was okay. It was normal. Was average.
Yes.
It wasn't dirty. It wasn't. I mean, that clean. You are so busy. You have to cook all the time, non-stop. So busy. You have food that goes on. It's hard to keep. It's gonna be dirty because at the end you clean everything. But yeah, no, it was still, even during the shift when everybody were cooking and baking pizza. In my case, sometimes I had to clean in the meantime the floor to keep everything clean. When I wasn't chopping or clean the dishes, I had to do that. So yeah, we tried to keep the place clean. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. But sometimes I've seen really dirty kitchens. Kind of. Especially in small restaurants, or usually in small, like the small hamburger places. So
Yeah.
just kind of no.
But I salute those kinds of worker, like in the service industry, like, wow,
Yeah,
such a hard job.
it's really
The
hard.
pay is less, and
Indeed.
people don't appreciate you, but wow,
No.
people still do it. Like, I salute
Yeah.
those people. Like,
Yeah.
well, I salute you, sir,
Oh.
for working once in the
Ooh.
service industry.
It's more than once actually, but yeah.
Yeah, more than once. Yeah. Wow, it's like really hard
But
job.
yeah, that was okay. Was good. In Disney, I mean, where
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
I remember
there
that story.
as well, but it was good too, Disneyland. But it's funny because actually, in some, especially in the franchise at Starbucks, McDonald's,
Hungry Jacks.
probably Hungry Jack, Burger King, they have a timer for like when you have to check the bathroom. So like in Starbucks, but I know in McDonald's they have similar processes. So every 15 minutes, no, every 30 minutes, I think, we have to check the bathrooms to make sure that there are still toilet papers and there's still soap. And I think it's those 50 minutes, just to make sure, we were not cleaning the bathroom, but just, sometimes removing, sometimes you have toilet papers on the floor because it just falls down drops from the roll.
Yeah.
It just, you have some toilet papers on the floor, so you just take the toilet paper on the floor. You just do like basic cleanup, just to, just to, I don't know if there's no soap anymore, we just put again soap, and the same for the toilet papers. If there are not toilet papers, we just do a check. Every 15 minutes we have a timer, and then we reset the timer. And the same for the normally for the tables, all the tables in Starbucks, but can be elsewhere. Every 15 minutes or 20 minutes we go around with we have a container, like a kind of, it's not a basket, but those kind of black
Oh, yeah.
container, I don't remember the name, and you put the plates there.
Yes, yeah.
You collect the plates, everything, so you clean up the tables. And normally you do that you have a timer, and every 20 minutes you have to do that. And so someone else go on the till or go on the coffee machine, and you do this. And normally you do this also before to take your break. And and after that you can take your break.
Hopefully you wash your hands after, though.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You have to. It's the same when you do the check for the toilets. You have to remove your apron because
cross-contamination can happen.
Yes, so there are a lot of processes, and the same in McDonald's or those kind of fast foods. The same for the hamburgers. Normally there's a timer as well, and after 10 minutes or 5 minutes, you have to throw them away. So in some fast food, they leave it for a bit longer, but normally they shouldn't. So you make the hamburger, and then after, it can only stay there for 5 or 10 minutes. It depends on the fast food company. Usually it's like around 5 to 10, because after the hamburger is not that fresh anymore. It's funny because the way they wrap the hamburger in the paper, it has a specific way to wrap it. It's really complicated, actually.
Yeah, service industry be complicated.
Yes, and you have to be very fast, very quick.
And then the pay is less. Anyway, moving back to...
So moving back to pros and cons with restaurants,
yes.
and actually eating at home, it's really important to have a good balance, I believe. And eating at home, I think most of the people that don't eat at home, probably either they don't realize that actually it's easy, they maybe really don't want to cook, but even like an omelette is so easy, like it just lasts for 5-10 minutes. It's important to clean as you go as well, because otherwise, you wake up in the morning, you still have the dirty dishes from the day before, from your evening, and after it's much harder to clean it. In my case, I'm not really a dishwasher person. I prefer to clean my hands. Hand wash, yeah. And it's relaxing, I think. And I think it's the same for you. You prefer. Really, although you are a professional cook, you like to clean your dishes
by hand.
By hands.
I'm a bit traditional, I would say.
That's nice.
For you, what is the pros of eating in a restaurant? As a summary, usually I tend to use restaurants, usually cafes, as a
co-working space. I mean, as not a co-working space, but as a working space. So I like to then stay there for 2 3 hours. I try to, I know that I pay like, especially in the place where I had to, I don't know, the coffee was so expensive, like it was $7 a coffee. I said, oh, and then I stayed like 4 hours to try to, at least it wasn't just for a coffee. I also used the environment in the nice coffee shop. Usually I try to go to nice cafes where I know that I can stay long and that I like the environment. But in some cities, you don't have a lot of coffee shops, unfortunately, and not a lot of coffee shops where you can stay long. But in the cities where you have that, where you are fortunate enough to have that, I like to write, to read, because I'm more inspired by I get more inspirations by the environment that surrounds me, and so I like to go away. I mean, I like to have a coffee somewhere for that reason.
Yes.
So usually I still nowadays have like a coffee maybe 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes less, sometimes more. Sometimes also when you work and you want to have a break, it's important. Sometimes it's an investment on yourself. But for restaurants, it really depends. But I kind of really like and really enjoy to eat at home as well. So nowadays it's mostly just for coffees and for having a productive time in the coffee shop, because sometimes I'm less distracted in a coffee shop. So yeah.
I think the pros of restaurants is, the convenience of it.
Yeah. Still, yeah. I mean, sometimes in a restaurant you have to wait for so long before even to have your coffee, but sometimes just to have your food, you have to wait for forever.
Well, yeah, the pros too is like creating jobs,
Oh yeah,
creating jobs.
You do a bit more. Maybe. Yeah.
And it's nice. But the cons though.
Yeah, you give more for the economy. Yeah, kind of, because still in the shop,
it keeps the
because
economy
sometimes
running.
a lot of restaurants they don't. Yeah, they shouldn't do that. But in some restaurants, the employees there are not
well treated. Oh my god.
No, they are. How to say? They don't. They are not really hired. I mean, they don't pay tax because.
Oh, I get that.
You
okay,
see,
under the table.
Usually,
you mean?
under the table. In the hospitality field, that happens. Unfortunately, quite often. In my case, fortunately, I never had that. When I never got an offer, and they said, "Oh no, actually, I won't pay for your, I don't know, for your tax number or whatever." No, I was always a normal employee. But unfortunately, I know that in a lot of places, in the hospitality field, they just, it's, I believe it's kind of common, but still you contribute to the economy of the restaurant. I mean, because after with the money will move and will circulate, and so it will be good for the economy. Yeah, that's right.
But for the cons of eating in a restaurant,
Mm.
for me, number one, it's expensive. That's the number one con of, if you don't save much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's less personal, maybe.
Yeah, it's less personal, and also you don't know what you eat, to be honest.
No, you have no idea. You have no idea from where it's the food. It really depends on the place, but sometimes it looks like a really good restaurant, but that's just a good marketing. But the food they buy, exactly. Sometimes you have no idea, and they also buy like the cheapest, and so the food is not really good actually. The price is high, and so it looks like really good food, but actually no. No,
it's not worth the price they're selling it for.
No, I'm 100% with you. I mean, I agree completely with you. It's hard to know what you eat, and it's hard to know also how it was cooked. If it was also cooked in a clean way. I mean, it's just how is the hygiene of the kitchen.
Yeah. So what about the pros of just cooking at home?
The pros. Well, it's really convenient. Now you have to cook, but you are, I believe, more proud of what you did. It's important to cook, to eat on a plate, obviously, definitely, but also to dress a table. Sometimes, to make it like a restaurant, to eat, with a nice environment. You can even sometimes play some nice music, having some candles. I love that. With a nice dress table if you have time, nice napkins even. Oh, cool, yeah, that's really good too. So you can make your own restaurant at home. This is what I mean, like with a specific theme, specific music. You can decrease or increase the brightness with lights and so on, or if you have that feature with the lights, and you can have candles. You can eat exactly what you want. Sometimes you go to a restaurant and they say, "Oh no, I'm sorry, we don't have. We don't have that meal anymore. We don't have the. We sold all of them, so you have to choose something else." At least at home, you really know what you will eat. You know more or less how long you have to wait because you are cooking it, so you know when it will be finished. Sometimes obviously it's taking longer, but it's still, at least you have the control of everything. And yeah, besides of the fact, after or even before to eat, you have to clean the dishes. Is really convenient, and you are at home. When you are in a restaurant, after oh yeah, after we have to go back home, so have either to drive, either to walk home, or
Public transport.
But when at home, you are already here. You save also much more time. About sometimes in restaurants you have to wait after to receive the bill, to receive the check, and that takes time. You have to say, hey, sorry. You have to find a
Anybody?
waiter, waitress. Someone, a staff who is available for you, and sometimes it takes longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially sometimes when you want to pay and you are about to leave, but it takes so long to have someone from the staff to come to your table, and to get to pay, and then that person first has to go back to the till for the receipt, and then with the receipt he comes to your table, then you have to pay, then they ask you what payment method you want to do, how do you want to pay, then you say, oh, by card. So then they go again to, I don't know, the staff room to bring the card reader. It's a lot of time wasted. At home, at least you already paid everything. You can after directly pet your cat, or you can watch a movie, or you can read or doing something else directly. In a restaurant you can do that.
Yeah.
And if you have kids, it's also more convenient, because having kids in a restaurant is never very pleasant.
No.
And you can really set everything you want. Like if first you want the dessert, and then you want the main meal, and then you want the soup or the appetizer. Yeah. You can choose what you want to eat right away. In a restaurant, it has to follow an order as well. What about you? What do you think?
Well, I think cooking at home is some sort of therapy for me.
Nice.
It's good. You also improve your skills when you cook at home, because otherwise, how would you learn how to cook if you don't start cooking?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
that's like one of the biggest pros of cooking at home,
Mm-hmm.
And it's also it makes you really proud to see the product that especially when the person you're feeding it to takes a photo, like
nice.
it means a lot.
Indeed.
It must have looked really good for that person to take a photo, because nobody likes to take weird photos of food that looks weird.
No,
so,
that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, it makes you really happy, and like wow, maybe maybe my skills are improving really well.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that
And
it
what's
makes you really proud.
Oh yeah.
The
Would you like to
cons?
continue?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Perfect.
what's the cons of eating at home?
I mean, I think the con is, I think, when you're really hungry, you're really tired, you just, I mean, you could whip an easy recipe, but
Mm.
but when you're really tired and everything, it's like you should hope that you have leftovers, because cooking when
Yeah,
you're tired,
sometimes you are starving,
yeah,
you really want to eat, and you just have some ingredients, but it will take a long time. I mean, you have to cook it, and you are so tired, and you're a bit tired to, I don't know, yeah, just to cook. Like yeah,
yeah, it's a bit
you,
inconvenient, I would
yeah,
say.
you don't have that
Depends
time.
on the context, but yeah.
Indeed.
And also, I think sometimes with cooking you don't have the full ingredients. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if you could just wing it. Yeah, but
I
to some
see.
it's like, okay, I think it would lack flavor and stuff. But yeah, that's why you cook more and more, so that you would soon know,
Then you will master better
yeah,
and better.
how to maneuver, yeah,
Yes.
cooking.
And then you feel more confident, and then you can try different recipes. But yes, it makes you much more proud, and it's a new skill you have. It's always so good to have a new skill. You develop a new skill, and it's like a passion. It's something you like to do. When you go to the restaurant, you just pay. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just for convenience. You're totally right.
Yeah.
But again, you don't know what you eat. Going to restaurants doesn't mean healthy food, because sometimes you don't know. It's just they buy bad, like a ready sauce with a lot of additive, what's the name,
Preservative.
preservative. Oh, thank you, madam. Yeah, thank you, my cook. So yeah, preservative. So yeah, that's you really don't know when you buy a food to cook in the supermarket. You can read the ingredients, and at least if you have preservative, if you have some, if it's too processed, too much sugar or not. But in the restaurant, you don't know if they add a lot of sugar, you don't know if they add a lot of preservative, they add a lot of something, or those kind of chemical regulator. So yeah, it's always
Yeah,
you don't have the control on it.
that's right. So
So I think we are like 75%. I mean, we are more or less. We have like, we prefer to cook at home
yes, that's
by
right.
75%, I would say.
Yeah,
From what we said of the pros and cons,
yeah.
but we still like
To go out.
sometimes to go
Yeah.
out, of course, like everybody, I believe, but not too often.
Not too often. That's
It's
right.
nice to have a good mix. And again, when we eat at home, we like then to, it's not just eating at home. You should also create a nice environment that will make you feeling like in a restaurant when you are eating at home.
Yeah, make it personal.
Yes, on a nice table, and
Candles.
yeah, and all that stuff. Do you have anything to add?
For now, I have nothing, sir.
Okay, beautiful. So I think that will be it. We mentioned, we covered everything, I would say.
Yes.
So yes,
See you next time.
see you next time.